Get ready for the action, because the Pacers' latest downfall should bring a smile to Knicks fans' faces for years to come. We break down the massive trade that sent Ivica Zubac to Indiana, and we explore how this shift impacts the long-term contention for the Indiana Pacers, as Tyrese Haliburton leads a squad looking to compete in the East. We look at the specifics of the trades involving Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, and the draft picks that have reshaped the Pacers' future outlook, and what this means for their path to the championship.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, we dive deep into the unbelievable run of the New York Knicks. Mike Lupica says the Knicks are rolling, better than they thought they could be, and they are on the most dominant 7-game stretch in NBA playoff history. We examine the incredible performance against the Philadelphia 76ers, the massive point differential, and what this dominant run tells us about the power of basketball New York. But the hype doesn't stop there. Stephen A. Smith has dropped a heavy message, firmly stating that the New York Knicks can win the championship. We look at the incredible postseason performance, including Miles McBride's scoring and Jalen Brunson's play, and why Smith is so confident that the Knicks are taking the title in hand. And finally, we look at why the New York Knicks are sending a clear message the Boston Celtics cannot afford to ignore. With Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges leading the charge, and the incredible defensive pairing of Bridges and OG Anunoby, we break down the talent that makes this team a legitimate powerhouse and why the Celtics need to take notice. Stay with us, because the action doesn't stop here. The recent performance of the Indiana Pacers is viewed as a significant positive development for New York Knicks fans, particularly as the Knicks advance into the Eastern Conference Finals. The narrative surrounding the rivalry between the Knicks and the Pacers, highlighted by a recent playoff series, has shifted. With the Pacers now reliant on lottery odds, the outcome is seen as a victory for New York, as the series did not favor Indiana. Looking ahead, the Knicks are positioned to compete for years in the Eastern Conference. The Pacers, featuring a returning Tyrese Haliburton, are expected to remain a top contender, though their long-term ceiling appears diminished. The Pacers missed out on a top 4 draft pick this year, falling to 5, which went to the LA Clippers. Indiana's roster shakeup reflects this change. The team traded several assets, including Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, this year's first protected draft pick, a 2029 first-round pick, and a future second-round pick, in exchange for Ivica Zubac, who is slated to be the team's starting center. The absence of key pieces, such as a top 4 draft selection, suggests the Pacers will not possess the elite young star power that could have propelled them into a long-term Eastern Conference powerhouse. While the current Pacers squad, anchored by Haliburton and featuring strong supporting players, remains competitive for the immediate future, the lack of an elite young talent makes their long-term contention less certain. This situation is viewed favorably by the Knicks. With the Pacers' ceiling lowered, the competition alongside New York atop the East is perceived as weakening, providing a more favorable landscape for the Knicks as they pursue their title aspirations. The New York Knicks are currently experiencing a peak of momentum, exhibiting a level of performance comparable to the glory years of the franchise and even the current defending champion Thunder. This surge marks one of the strongest performances for a New York team in a long time, drawing comparisons to historic runs by the Giants and Yankees. The team is currently on the most dominant 7-game stretch in NBA playoff history. Their recent performance against the 76ers, where they decisively defeated them, showcased an edgy and intense style of play, with players expressing a sense of familiarity and confidence. This success has generated significant local excitement, with the Knicks dominating the city's sports conversation. However, the immediate challenge facing the team is not their next opponent, but a significant scheduling gap. The Knicks face a week-long layoff before their next game, scheduled for next Sunday, either in Detroit against the Pistons or at home against the Cavaliers. This enforced rest period raises concerns about maintaining peak form, drawing parallels to cautionary tales from baseball teams that suffered prolonged periods of inactivity following major victories. Despite the upcoming break, the team is reportedly focused on recovery, with key players like OG Anunoby receiving necessary rest, suggesting a strategic pause to regroup. The overall sentiment is one of triumphant confidence, as the team solidifies its status as a powerhouse, preparing for the next phase of their journey after a period of intense, high-level play. ESPN analyst Stephen A. Smith has unequivocally declared that the New York Knicks have a legitimate shot at winning the NBA championship following their dominant victory over the Philadelphia 76ers. The Knicks closed out their series with a commanding 144-114 win on Sunday, extending their playoff winning streak to 7 games and continuing an exceptional postseason run for the franchise. In his first take, Smith expressed strong confidence, stating, "Philadelphia 76ers, my condolences. We'll talk about them later. New York Knicks going to the finals. I think they can win the championship. Yes, I do." When pressed by ESPN analyst Jay Williams about his championship prediction, Smith doubled down, emphatically asserting, "I'm taking the Knicks to win the title. We win in a chip. We win in a chip." The surge in the Knicks' success has been fueled by strong performances from Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, Miles McBride, and Josh Hart. The team has advanced to its second consecutive Eastern Conference Finals and currently holds an NBA record for a plus 194-point differential across its first 10 playoff games. The performance against Philadelphia was historic. The Knicks tied an NBA postseason record with 25 made three-pointers and built a 43-24 lead after the opening quarter. Key contributors included Miles McBride with 25 points and 7 three-pointers, Jalen Brunson with 22 points and 6 assists, and Towns and Hart each scoring 17 points. Furthermore, the Knicks completed their first best-of-7 playoff sweep since 1999. Postseason records highlight an unprecedented run. The Knicks have won 7 consecutive playoff games with an average margin of 26.4 points, outscoring opponents by 185 points during that stretch, the largest scoring differential across 7 straight playoff games in NBA history. Players attribute the team's momentum to a shift in mentality following an earlier first-round loss, with McBride noting, "We know we're the better team, but we can't just come out there and expect to win." Brunson added that team chemistry has improved as they played together throughout the postseason. Despite the absence of forward OG Anunoby due to injury, the Knicks dominated the semifinal series, outscoring the 76ers by 89 total points over 4 games, marking one of the largest point differentials in a non-first-round playoff series in NBA history. The atmosphere in Philadelphia was also a notable feature, with large groups of Knicks fans taking over the arena during Games 3 and 4. The Knicks now await the winner of the Detroit Pistons-Cleveland Cavaliers series in the Eastern Conference Finals. Detroit currently leads that series 2-1 entering Game 4. For now, Stephen A. Smith has firmly established his championship pick as the Knicks continue their formidable playoff campaign. The New York Knicks have sent a clear message to the Boston Celtics, signaling that they are a formidable force in the Eastern Conference. Having reached the conference finals for the second consecutive year, the Knicks are positioned as strong favorites against teams like the Detroit Pistons or Cleveland Cavaliers, potentially setting the stage for their first NBA Finals appearance in over 2 decades. Despite facing internal inconsistencies this season, the Knicks have solidified their status as an East powerhouse, driven by the leadership of Jalen Brunson and a high-powered offensive unit complemented by improved defense. The team's recent actions, specifically acquiring Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, have yielded significant returns. These 2 players are recognized as among the best wing defenders in the NBA, creating a serious concern for the Celtics, whose roster is heavily anchored by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Furthermore, the Knicks possess an intriguing matchup dynamic with Karl-Anthony Towns, one of the NBA's premier shooting big men. While Neemias Queta offers valuable depth for Boston, he may struggle to match up against Towns, and the pairing of Brunson and Towns presents a significant challenge. While the Knicks have faced challenges, their talent level remains exceptionally high, with the roster showing consistent improvement over recent years. Analysts suggest the Knicks are likely to remain near or at the top of the East for the foreseeable future. Given their recent strong performances against the Celtics and the potential for continued success, the Knicks are certainly a team the Celtics must keep under intense scrutiny, particularly as they consider future roster adjustments, such as securing a center replacement.